What's up, everybody? Joe White here. Back again. Man, today's been a crazy ass news day for a Sunday. So apparently, Nixon Newell, the former Tegan Knox, along with her tag team partner, Miranda Alize, or Alziz, I don't know. They left the collision taping last night. Why? Because they were asked to do a job. That's right. They were asked to lay down to Anna Jay and Tay Mello last night, and they refused to do the job, so they walked out of the taping. Now, these two, Nixon Newell is the former Tegan Knox, who, let's face it, never really made it big in WWE. She was around, but she wasn't what I would call a superstar. She was just there. They refused, so they debuted last week, or a couple weeks ago, actually. Let's see here. They were released by WWE. Tegan Knox was released on November 1st, 2024. And this past summer, she said it was a nightmare getting bookings. Let me just read this to you guys. This is from PW Insider. There was a change to tonight's AEW Collision after Nixon Newell and Miranda Alize refused to lose in their second match or their second appearance for the promotion, PW Insider has learned. The duo was scheduled to put over Tay Mello and Anna Jay, but balked at the booking because they had already lost in their debut match last week. The duo left the taping about an hour before bell time and were replaced by Hien and Maya World. Who? Okay. PW Insiders were learning that the Hien and Maya World has, quote unquote, gained points internally, whatever that means with Tony Khan. Alize took to Twitter mentioning that they have so much to say. She also retweeted fan comments about them needing credible wins. Newell, as of this article, has not commented herself, but retweeted Alize's comments as well as the fan tweets. Newell, the former Tegan Knox, was released, blah, 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 blah. Neither were believed to be under AEW contracts at this juncture. Newell and Alize, who was a former regular Ring of Honor when it was owned by Sinclair, made their debut on 10/25. Well, guess what? They're probably not going to get contracts now. I don't get this. I don't get this. First off, you have somebody who came in directly from WWE, and they're already doing a job. WWE has done this before, too. They get that hot new superstar, and immediately, boom, they have them lose. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But to have them want to do the job again, I mean, they're not even signed. So I get it, not having signed guys get wins over your unsigned guys, but maybe, once again, the old snowman not doing his job, maybe you should get them signed under a contract first before they debut on TV. You know what? No, fine. Give me 1 second here, guys. Here we go. Okay, so sorry, I had to go around somebody. So yeah, maybe you should think about getting them signed first before letting something like this happen. Letting something, then if you refuse to do a job, you can say, okay, you're fired. Instead of giving them the advantage of walking out on you, and instead of giving them the advantage of even saying no, which contracted talent apparently say no all the time in AEW. That's their one liberty, is that they get to say no to the boss man, the snowman, if you will. They get to say no to Tony Khan. And Tony Khan, because he doesn't want to upset anybody, because he wants to be seen as the popular guy, even though word has come out in the last few months of him crashing a talent-only meeting and going, I'll make you do jobs in 30 seconds on Collision or on... He'll be a boss behind the scenes, apparently. But when it's out there in public, nope, not going to do it. Not going to say anything. Not going to be a boss here. There was rumors, or not rumors. There was tweets going around. I believe it was Velvet Sky retweeted somebody when somebody posted the speech that Dixie Carter once gave to talent and had it filmed right before they brought in Hogan and Bischoff, and basically gave the talent a deal of, hey, you either get behind me and what I'm doing, or you're out of here. You could go find somewhere else to work. And Velvet Sky posted on Twitter that nobody took her seriously. Everybody was basically saying this is a way to stroke her ego. You wasted time on a production day for this, blah, 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 blah. And, I hope that Tony Khan, well, I can't hope. He has. Tony Khan has fallen into that exact same category. Nobody takes him seriously. Nobody gets behind this guy. Nobody knows how to treat him like a boss. And when he tries to act like a boss, people just balk at him. They don't take him seriously. They can't really, they can't get behind this guy. And it's the same thing here. You're going to do a job. No, we're not. We're going to leave. All right, goodbye. See if you ever get work here again. See if you ever get work here again. I'm sorry, if I ran a wrestling promotion, I wouldn't be a dick about it. Because you can be a boss without being a total dick about things. But I would damn sure tell them, hey, you're not under contract. If you don't like it, leave. And maybe that is what was told to them. Maybe they didn't just walk out of the taping. But, and wrestlers, you have to realize too, when you go to work for a promotion, you're at the whim of the promoter. You either do what the promoter says or just don't show up. If you're not prepared to do what that promoter says, now within reason. If the promoter says, hey, I want you to go out there and set yourself on fire, and you don't want to set yourself on fire, all right, well, are you going to have Hollywood stunt guys there to make sure the burn goes good? And are you going to have me, covered in that anti-burn gel like Cody Rhodes was that one time? And if the promoter says no, well, fuck you. You're not being safe. Goodbye. Then you have a right to walk away. But if the promoter goes out there and does a reasonable thing like, hey, you're going to get paid the same amount whether you job or not. I want you to put this guy over. I want you to really make him shine. And you say no? Get the fuck out of my locker room then if you don't want to do what I'm telling you to do. I'm your boss for the evening. If I got you under contract, I'm your boss permanently until that contract is up. And this is, shit we've heard about in AEW before. People refusing to do jobs. Like Aleister Black refusing to do jobs. What happens when he gets on WWE TV? He's jobbing. Rumor was that Miro didn't want to do jobs. Rusev. What's happening now that he's on TV? He's doing the job to Dominic Mysterio. Why? Because his boss said, if you don't like it, you can get the hell out. We'll sit you at home. We can, if you refuse to do the job, that goes against your contract. You're not doing what you're contractually obligated to do, which is listen to me. We're going to sit you home without pay. And we may even sue you for, going against your contract. Breach of contract, if you will. But Tony Khan's not going to do that. Tony Khan will just say, okay, leave. Tony Khan will say, all right, I'll just sit you at home till your contract renews, continue to pay you. Even though you're breaching your contract by refusing to do what I say. It just goes back to the man not wanting to be a boss. And it just goes back to people wanting to be prima donnas in this business. And on AEW side of things, you can get away with it, whether you're under contract or not, apparently. Now, if it gets revealed here in the future that Tony Khan has signed Nixon, Newell, and this other woman to contracts, then Tony Khan has just created his own worst enemy because these guys know they can get away with it. Oh, we'll just go home. It's okay. It's stupid. It's flat out stupid. It needs to stop. You know, if you're working at a McDonald's and your boss tells you, "Hey, I want you to go clean out the daggone grease trap under the fryer," guess what? You're getting greasy that day. Like the job I'm in. I'm in a truck. I'm a truck driver. They told me I got to go to downtown Philly tomorrow morning. Guess where I'm going? Downtown Philadelphia in a big rig tomorrow. Fun, fun. You know, these days of being prima donnas and refusing to do the job. Now, granted, in this case is a little bit special. They shouldn't have been jobbed out to begin with. The fact that you want them to lose 2 weeks in a row, and here I am, I'm the hot person coming over. I'm a good, I'm a former WWE guy. Maybe book them under jobbers and have them win over a couple jobbers. Couldn't you fight these world people? Couldn't Tegan Knox and them fight the world people and have them beat them? No, it's just bad snowman booking. Once again. Anyway, folks, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Are wrestlers being prima donnas? Should they just do what they're told? Does Tony Khan need to book better? I think the answer is all the above. Anyway, we'll see you down the road.